Well, good evening. I'm Nancy Muir. I'm a Miles for Hips board member, and I have the absolute pleasure and privilege of being here tonight with Leah Sake. Leah is up in British Columbia. She's a parent as well as a hip dysplasia advocate and is also the founder of Little Hippy Co. So, welcome, Leah.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'd love for you to just start off and tell us a little bit about your and your family's hip dysplasia journey.
Yeah, so I guess our journey started with me over 30 years ago when I was born with hip dysplasia. My sort of memory and understanding of it from when I was a baby was that my mom was just told to double diaper me. And so that was what she did. And I kind of went through life not thinking about it too much after that. And it wasn't until 2020 when my daughter was born and her hips very obviously were dislocated at birth. And the pediatrician sort of flagged this to us and said, "Do you have any family history of hip dysplasia or hip issues?" And it was like, "Oh, yeah, we do." um, and that was really where kind of our journey began, was with our daughter and our experience with her diagnosis and going through 12-week long treatment in a Pavlik harness for her. And then 3 years later, when my son was born, we were quite hopeful that, given that he was our second child and he was a boy, that he had lower chances of a diagnosis. At birth, his hips seemed healthy. However, given our family history, he got a 6-week ultrasound, which confirmed his diagnosis. And so back we went into a 12-week long Pavlik harness treatment. And through the process with our children, my husband and I have really had the opportunity to educate ourselves on hip dysplasia and get involved in the communities and with our local doctors. And it's just been a really eye-opening experience, and one that we have, yeah, turned into an opportunity to support other families like us with clothing designed specifically for hip dysplasia babies.
So, and that's what I would love for you to share more about. So, we actually met through online connecting because of your business, and your
Yeah.
journey really inspired you and your family to get into the entrepreneurial side of things as well as the advocacy side of things. So, would love for you to share a little bit more about this all.
Yeah. So, Little Hippy Co. is our business. We are the only brand in North America dedicated to hip dysplasia clothing for babies. And we basically just decided we have got to do this after both of our kids
Mm.
went through treatment. And with my son, he was a little bit older when he went into his harness. And we just found it so much more challenging. With my daughter, it was COVID, so we weren't also leaving the house very often or, doing too much. But with our son, we were more out and about. He was a little bit older. The adjustment just seemed a little bit more challenging and the experience a little bit more isolating. And I just remember thinking, like, I can't believe, given the statistics, that there's not more available options for us. And I just decided, you know what, I'm too stubborn to let this go. And I think I'm the right person to figure this out. So we really just dove into the apparel industry and partnered with some really great manufacturers, local Canadian manufacturers, sourcing fabrics that we knew would be important to hip dysplasia families for layering with the different harnesses and braces, and tried to source as much local product that we could, and came up with patterns and designs with unique features that we knew firsthand families would be looking for. And so we launched our online store in 2024. And since then, it's been an incredible experience, working with various families, getting involved in the medical community, working with hip clinics across Canada and the USA, and really just, yeah, working to promote education and awareness of hip dysplasia. But at the heart of our business, really, it's about supporting families. And, I hope that thus far, that's what we've been able to do. We've had amazing feedback, and lots of little hippies out there wearing their
Oh,
fashionable clothes, and it's just been a really wonderful experience.
oh, that's wonderful. And you may have already answered my next question, but just in your own words, like what have you learned or gained through your hip dysplasia experience in this journey?
Yeah, it's well, first I think the biggest thing for me was educating myself and the importance
Mhm.
of, asking questions and getting involved and really working with medical teams. We've been really blessed to work with not only the doctors that treated my kids, but doctors across, the country and the US, and learning all about hip dysplasia, and so really educating ourselves. And I think that sort of aids in the sense of isolation I think a lot of parents can feel as going through treatment and feeling like they're needing to adjust to treatment, or to going to doctor's appointments, or their kids are in harnesses or braces or casts. And I think education is power. And so enabling myself to better understand those treatments and how it could support my kids now is helping me better understand that experience for other parents and how I can help support them as well.
That's absolutely amazing. You guys are doing just brilliant work. It's so inspiring. And kind of based on that, you certainly have looked to educate yourselves and find this kind of niche area. But really, with as we talked about, I think when you and I first met weeks ago, we're saying this is really a passion project. I mean, it is a business, but this is your. I mean, you actually have another job. This is
I do. Yeah.
this is what you do in your spare time, and with
Yeah.
it, your heart and mindset is all on service and support and building community, which is just so cool. And
Yeah.
kind of on that, what roles or opportunities do you see for patients and families playing in hip dysplasia care?
Yeah, I think it's a really pivotal time right now, where a lot of, and we've had the, great opportunity to work with a lot of medical professionals. There seems to be a really big push, not only for developing programs related to hip dysplasia and screening and, building awareness and education, but also we're finding that a lot of doctors and hip clinics are they're really trying to understand and better the family and the family experience of
Mhm.
parents going through hip dysplasia treatment. And so I think for parents right now, getting involved with your doctors and your medical teams and the community sort of at large, because there's great foundations like Miles for Hips and a lot of advocacy groups that you can get involved with to sort of better the experience for yourself and hopefully pass it along to future families, and kind of set that up for families down the road. And yeah, for roles for us, I think it's just being being that the a brand and a family that other families can turn
Yeah.
to make the experience feel a little bit less isolating. That was one of the things when we started developing our products. We wanted to make sure that our pieces were on trend and
Yeah.
stylish and cute, and something that parents got to look forward to putting their babies in, like to make the experience feel less like I'm got to try and find something that's going to sort of work with this, or, dress my baby in sizes that are, two or three sizes bigger just to make it work. Making it feel like, these products are specifically designed for those babies, and they're cute and they're stylish, and it's something to look forward, for parents to put their babies in.
I think that's just, I mean, you use the word isolating a lot, and I know that comes up both in from parents of children with hip dysplasia and then also in the adolescent and adult hip dysplasia communities too. And that's what's been so brilliant with seeing these so many hip dysplasia communities growing and people forming these connections. Like you said, getting involved with your medical teams and with other patient and families and advocates coming together. And, but yeah, what I just love is it is because on and this is something that only really a parent can know, right? A parent or a patient can know what matters to a
Yeah.
family or a patient. Like that's something and the doctor, the physicians and surgeons treating these babies with hip dysplasia are doing incredible work and are wanting to have these partnerships, but they're not thinking about cute baby clothes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
and it is something that on the surface it sounds kind of silly, but that is such a part of parenthood, is when you're
mhm,
expecting a new baby, it's picking out the cute clothes, it's envisioning your
yeah,
baby wearing this and going out in the community, and that's just such a part of our culture, right? With the
yeah,
newborns, and to what you brought up of just going, this is something parents can be proud of, and it's unique and it's designed for their child. It's not trying to
mhm.
accommodate around their child. It's designed
Yeah,
for them.
it's
It's
connecting to that emotional experience a bit, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
and kind of supporting that and enabling that to happen. Like, yeah, you're adjusting and your baby might look a little bit different in this, this phase, but
Yeah.
there's still great options available and that's kind of something that we've really strived to provide for families just like ours.
And probably giving some sense of normalcy around it. When you've got this situation as a new parent and all of a sudden you're dealing with this medical diagnosis and this harness and this strapping and not being able to snuggle the way you want or position them the way you want or change them the way you want, and then to just have some sense of normalization
Normalcy.
around it, to be able to be
Yeah.
like, well, I can still pick out cute clothes and get them dressed, and it's functional and it's practical, but it's also um, just kind of connecting.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That was, one of um our biggest thoughts when we were designing our pieces was, making sure like providing some sense of normalcy for parents and I think we've managed to do that.
Oh, it's wonderful. What kind of advice would you be able to give to other patients or families who want to get involved in hip dysplasia awareness and advocacy work?
Yeah, I think it starts with getting involved with your doctors and your
Mhm.
medical team. Certainly, you know, asking questions and educating yourself as much as possible. For me, in my experience, the Facebook groups that I was able to join and connect with other parents was unbelievable. Even through our experience with our kids going through treatment, but also as we were developing our business and our brand, I had so much valuable feedback from parents about what they were looking for and the things that really mattered to them. And we were really, it was really useful for us going through kind of research and development when we were getting started. And I think that sort of started a lot of roots for us in the community. And then, of course, getting involved with organizations like Miles for Hips and the getting involved in that community and meeting the people that have gone through the same things you have, or even things that you haven't gone through. I know you and I have connected about yourself and your hip dysplasia journey and hip dysplasia in adolescents and adults. It's the same but different. And it's something that we can all really connect on and learn from and really work to spread that awareness and education.
And I just have to ask for viewers' sake. I mean, your other life work, your your real job,
Yeah,
totally unrelated.
completely unrelated. I had
Oh, where did
absolutely
you get
no.
the the gumption to do this? I mean, you guys, this is a grassroots effort. I mean, you literally taught your when you talk about you just used words that I was like, oh, those are business words, your marketing research. And like, did you know what marketing research was before this?
No,
I
yeah.
love it. I
I
love it.
I certainly didn't. I come from a construction background, so apparel was completely
Yeah,
foreign to me. And I think that's one of the really cool things about our brand too, is it just came from like a sheer necessity and
yeah,
stubbornness of we'll just figure it out as we go. We know that there's a need for this product and
yeah,
we know that, we can help support families with this. So let's just take it day by day and make mistakes and figure things out and, you know, we're just going to make it work and somehow it seems to be working out. I think when you're passionate about something,
yeah,
and that's kind of the great position for me this isn't my full-time job. It's just something that I absolutely love doing, and it's something I'm so passionate about. And there's a real sense of freedom with that, I think, and I'm able to just really pour my heart and soul into it just simply because I love it. And it's been so impactful to me through my experience with my kids being treated, and now through my experience with Little Hippie Co. and meeting families and getting the emails, and it's been really emotional and really truly wonderful.
Uh, Well, it's absolutely inspiring, and your just passion and enthusiasm and your just love for this community and for what you do just shines through in every single word. So, thank you so much for sharing. And just on the final note, I'm sure we have a lot of viewers who are very curious to learn more about you and your company and to get to see your products. But how can viewers learn about you and also your products and services? What's the best way for them to get in touch or?
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely check out our website, www.littlehippieco.ca.
Okay.
We have our Facebook page, Little Hippie Co., as well as our Instagram page, littlehippie.co on Instagram. But yeah, certainly, our website is the best place to find our products. We have our hip dysplasia clothing line. We also recently launched our Awareness is Hip collection, which is
Oh.
for adult and older kids celebrating hip dysplasia and promoting awareness of hip dysplasia. Something we were really excited to kind of get moving on. And yeah, and our social media, we always try and kind of have a balance of our products and also statistics and education and sharing that information as well to help parents be educated and maybe learn a new statistic that they didn't know, and
Yeah.
just really help get that awareness out there.
Well, wonderful. And just to help, we will make sure that that website is included when we
Awesome.
share this video because this is truly wonderful, and I think people will really love hearing all about it.
No,
So
I
thank you so much
appreciate
for
it.
joining tonight. This was wonderful seeing you.
Thanks, Nancy. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.